Hang on one second. Let me put this setting.
All right, well, we're here. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Christ and TK with his Tremonti's polo on over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. I am in an undisclosed location presented by the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. And, of course, we're presented by LeBear's Casino. LeBear's Casino, the sports book, the place to be to get all those preseason football bets. Or if you want to bet on Summer NBA, Summer League NBA, or how many shots LeBron James' son's going to make, over under 1.5 maybe in a game. I don't know. It's been bad. But also we've got the British Open. And yes, I know they call it the Open. I do not. That's my jihad. It's the British Open. Just like they have the U.S. Open, the Canadian Open, the Australian Open. It's the British Open. Tommy will tell you his pick to click on that at Royal Troon is where they're playing the British Open. I have played that course. I'll give you my little takeaway on it in a little bit. Also, the Baton Rouge Rougarou, 4 games this week, Thursday through Sunday. We hope to see you out there. Thursday, Charles Harvey and the gang over at Southern Regional Medical Center are picking up the tab for you. You don't have any excuse not to go. It's absolutely free. Friday, we got fireworks. Saturday, Cheeseburger in Paradise. Presented by Tremonti's, and then Sunday, Salute to Service and all that. We're going to have Eagle 98.1 and their crew out there on Sunday. Tiger Country's going to be out there on Saturday. So make your plans to join us. 7 o'clock is when it starts. 7:05 first pitch each and every night, Thursday through Sunday, in Rougarou Land. That's 1502 Foss Street, downtown by the state capitol. The LSU Tigers are in Fort Worth, Texas, for it's Fort Worth, right? That they're in, or is it Dallas?
Or the media days are in Dallas, yeah. I think
it is Dallas, not Fort Worth. Okay. And look, the quick takeaway, and I want to get your thoughts on this, TK, on LSU football at the media days, which we don't know where they're going to be preseason ranked. We'll find out. Do you said tomorrow or later in the week?
Late tomorrow. Yeah,
late tomorrow.
Like 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah.
Worst case, early Friday morning.
So we'll talk about it on Friday. But look, Brian Kelly and Nussmeier and the gang, Harold Perkins, they did their part. They wore the cowboy hat. They went and did the song and dance. They worked the radio row and TV row and every kind of row. And at the end of the day, I found a couple things interesting. Nussmeier, at least in his interviews, Tommy, seems together, seems ready, seems poised to have a big year, says all the right things. It seems sincere. He's got the formula for being successful. He's a veteran quarterback with just enough experience to give you confidence and success to give you confidence. So LSU bodes well. I think personally he's going to be probably the third best quarterback in the league this year out of 16. And then the other one, of course, is Harold Perkins. Harold Perkins. Which Harold Perkins are we going to get? The dominant one that flashed on the scene as a freshman, was the talk of the league defensively, or the one that kind of disappeared a little bit and was a good player, but at a 205 pounds, which was what Brian Kelly said he was, which isn't an inside linebacker weight. He's now gained about 20 pounds, they say. And Harold and Brian Kelly was pretty blunt. He said if Harold Perkins was, 20 pounds heavier last year, he'd have been really good. So I don't know. Is that it? Is that all he needed to do, was to get to 225, 220, 225? We'll see.
Yeah, well, it goes back to, I keep going back to the quote, when Ole Miss played in Baton Rouge a couple of years ago, Perkins' freshman year, the first half and the second half was significantly different. LSU won the game. They asked Lane Kiffin, said, what was the difference in the second half? He said they put that guy number 40 in. Okay, and he was referring to Harold Perkins, who at the time he was number 40. Now he's Harold Perkins. And, that I've never forgot that like if Kiffin said that, he's the offensive guru, and he's thinking that guy messed us up, he's got to be good. Well, he's gained some weight, and that should be good. He can play mostly inside, they say. And, Ronnie, I'll go back to what I said a couple weeks ago. Nussmeier, Taylor, and Perkins went to media days. If those three guys have big seasons, I'm not saying Nussmeier wins the Heisman and all that. They have solid, big, productive seasons. That's going to bode well for LSU.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it. Those are three guys that have to have big seasons. I think it's, you say if, I just say they almost have to.
Yeah,
Because if they
if they're
don't,
going to win 10 games or more.
right, because if Mustmeyer doesn't have a good year and play to his abilities, then it's not like someone's going to come to the rescue. They're going to at best get through. And then of course the same for Taylor and Perkins, and especially Perkins on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, there's so many questions. The defensive line, they didn't get it. They didn't have the money to go get the high end players. They're just trying to. Yeah, when I listen to the LSU coaches talk about their defensive line, it reminds me of Paul Maneri the year he didn't have any left-handed pitchers and he was trying to tap dance and make excuses and come up with a way for us to believe that, hey, this isn't a bad thing. We don't have any left-handed pitchers on our team this year, but we got guys with different kinds of curveballs. We got guys that can throw the front foot curveball, guys that can throw the back foot curveball. And I'm like, and he's like, it's kind of like left-handed pitching. And I'm like, no, it's really kind of not like left-handed pitching. That's what the LSU coaches sound like this year with the defensive line. Yeah, we didn't get anybody in the portal that was any good, and but the ones we got, we got a lot of different sizes, and we're going to work them in different groupings, and I think we. So Harold Perkins is got to be on his game because that defensive line is going to not be that defensive line at best is going to be serviceable at best. So it's again, I go back to what you said. If Harold Perkins has he needs to have a big year in order for that defense to be good enough to complement what should be a very good offense.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe the defensive linemen will get a little better practice because they're going against some really good offensive linemen, right. Some NFL guys. So maybe when the ones go against the ones, maybe that'll perk them up a little bit because they might not play against two tackles like Jones and Campbell during the course of the schedule. But then again, practice is not the game. Okay, I get that. So we'll see.
So I hope that Brian Kelly gets his way. He talked a little bit more about it at media days. We know it was released during the summer that Brian Kelly is interested in taking his LSU team over to Ireland, like he did Notre Dame a couple of times, to go play over in Ireland. There's a promoter and a company that puts on an annual game over there, and this year I think Florida State and I have to look it up. Florida State and somebody are playing out of the ACC, I believe, are playing over there in August. I am pleased, Brian. Please, LSU. Please, Scott Woodward. Give this man his wish. Let him play in Dublin, Ireland. With week 0, let him play over in Ireland. Let me go so that I can go play all those wonderful golf courses again and tie in LSU football game. Oh my God, that would be like the dream trip. I don't know if it would be a better trip ever. Trust me, the second that it's official, I'm booking my flight, booking my hotel, booking my rounds of golf. It is going to be just the trip of a lifetime. But it still hasn't happened yet. But I got to believe it's going to happen. If you got a coach out there speaking it that much, saying he wants it to happen, and he's the head coach of LSU, then I got to believe it is going to happen. And if it does, wow, what a trip of a lifetime that is going to be. There is golf going on this week over in the British Isles at Royal Troon. When I say Royal Troon, Tommy, what comes to mind?
Yeah, I've never been over there to play golf. I know you and I know some other guys who've been over there. It just comes down to, it's where golf started in Scotland. It's why we got 18 holes, and it's a links golf. It's different. You played 6 different courses back a couple of months ago. I just think it's golf like we don't see every day. I'm gonna get up early tomorrow morning and put it on because you got to get up early and do that because it's the British Open. And Sunday morning, I'll make sure I get up and watch all that stuff, and the final round, etc. A lot of storylines in there. But I just think like home of golf, the origin of golf, and that if I could ever get a chance to go over there, I'd love to try to. I don't play as well as I once did, but I'd love to try to play those courses.
The first round of golf I ever played in Scotland, first round of golf I ever played over there, back 8 years ago or something like that, was at Royal Troon. And we flew over, we landed, we took a shuttle, and I mean, we no hotel, no nothing, went straight to the golf course, stretched, hit some balls, and played. Needless to say, didn't play well, but uh, the course is interesting. It is flat, no trees. It is links. It is on the water. There's a couple holes that run along the ocean. Um, I wasn't super impressed with the course. It was uh, although a friend of mine had an unbelievable bunker shot on I think it was 17 or something out of the bunker, like hold it, but on the side of the green. But it was of all the now. This is the thing about Royal Troon, and this is the thing that I learned in the clubhouse. Every like you grew up in Chalmette, in New Orleans, and they had playgrounds, right? In Chalmette, you had playgrounds, and what a playground was you had a playground, and on that playground there were football, baseball, basketball, soccer or whatever. There were other teams that played at that playground. There were leagues that played, and then that playground made an all-star team, and then that all-star team went and played other playgrounds. And in your area in St. Bernard, you got multiple playgrounds. They all had a team. They all played each other. Then they made an all-star team, and then the St. Bernard all-star team would play the New Orleans all-star team, or the Metairie West Bank all-star team, the East Bank all-star team, whatever, play other parishes, if you will, or other cities that had all-star teams. Well, in Scotland, the golf courses are sort of like that. Like they have clubs, and Royal Troon had a club, and in that club they have golf. They have the club champion, right? And they have the women's champion, the men's champion, and the doubles and partners and all that. But they don't just play golf. They play other sports there. They might play cricket, they might play basketball, they might play other sports, but the club is housed at that clubhouse. So at Royal Troon, their clubhouse, which has a little restaurant in it and all that, but there's a club there year round and different sports, and they meet there and they have trophies for different sports that are at that club, and they do that in every little town. And then all those clubs play each other. It's really neat tradition, and a lot of the clubs are at the golf courses, and they double as clubhouses.
Can't say I knew that. That is interesting. I like your analogy because growing up in Chalmette, there was 7 playgrounds, and you played them all. It did exactly what you said. The other thing about Troon, this year they're going to have a 630-yard par 5, which will be the longest par 5 in British Open history. But as you learned when you're over there, the ball runs 50, 60 yards in those fairways. But if we go play at Greystone, it might run 10 yards and 20 on a hot, dry day. But the other thing is they got the postage stamp hole, as it's called, the smallest green. It's a 123-yard par 3. You rarely ever see 123-yard par 3s anywhere anymore, especially at that level in the PGA Tour or the British Open or the tours around the world. So that's a famous thing that you'll see, the 7th or 8th hole, whatever it is, the postage stamp. These guys are going to be hitting sand wedges and gap wedges, but normally they're hitting 3, 4, and 5 irons in the par 3s.
Well, that postage stamp hole, you hear 123-yard par 3. Like, my God, that's really
it's a little
easy.
Downhill too.
But it's all about the wind. It's all about, how do you catch the wind when you get to that hole? Is it windy? Is it in your face? Is it across? Is it no wind? And it can play different at 9 versus 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so it just depends on the luck of the draw, because that 123 par 3 can play really easy, and it can play really hard and play everywhere in between. And that's the whole key to really playing over there, is what are the conditions, of the moment that you play. And, knock on wood, when I've been to Scotland twice and Ireland once, and combined probably played, close to, 18 rounds of golf. And really, Tommy, only had probably, if I combined all the bad weather into one out of that, let's say, I think I played like 16 rounds of golf. The 16 rounds of golf that I've played over there, maybe 2, combined had bad weather. I mean, I got very fortunate. And we all 3 times I went around the same amount of time, which is early mid-May. So if you're looking to make a trip over there, early mid-May has been pretty good to me. the 3 times I've ever been. All right, so Royal Troon, that'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. And okay, pick to click. If you got to go to the Barstool Sportsbook, what are you doing?
Patrick Cantlay plus 5,500. Now he's, it's kind of like when you bet the horses. You don't want to bet the 2-1 favorite or the 3-1 favorite. You want to get some value in there. And Patrick Cantlay was very close to the U.S. Open, kind of last minute, last couple of holes or so. Shifted to DeChambeau and McIlroy. But Cantlay is just a solid golfer, and he stays focused. He doesn't get rattled. I don't know. It's a long shot, no question. But $10 can win you a lot of money. So $10 will win you $550. So hey, I've done worse things with $10, and I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. And but you got all the favorites: the McIlroy story, DeChambeau. A lot of people liking Brooks Koepka, Xander Schauffele, and of course Scotty Scheffler is the odds-on favorite. So see what he can do. He's the best golfer in the world right now.
Patrick Cantlay, not bad value. The guy has been in the hunt. The guy has played well consistently, and so I like you, Tommy. I mean, most people put about 6 bets. They'll bet on like 6 golfers, and you got to stagger them. I think Scotty Scheffler you should use as like your catch-all. Like, okay, if my 6 bets add up to $200, I got to bet whatever to win $200 with Cantlay, and then with Scheffler, and then that way he's your catch-all, and everybody else you can make money on, because either Scheffler's going to win, or you got a pretty good chance with 5 others. Figuring out who at least one of them might be. But anyway,
Tiger Woods is not going to win. I don't know if you saw this, Ronnie. You're very busy, but Colin Montgomery came out and said Tiger needs to retire. Colin watched the U.S. Open, said he said Tiger didn't enjoy a single shot. I mean, he just, he needs to hang it up. Well, Tiger Woods' response, you ready for this? He said, well, you know what? I'm exempt into the British Open until age 60 because I'm a winner. Colin's not exempt into the British Open because he's never won it, so it's not for him to decide. He took a pretty good bomb right back at Colin Montgomery, who's never won the British Open. And so that was pretty cool that Tiger fired back.
Hey, man, listen, when it comes to the whole retirement thing in sports, not just Tiger, but when it comes to the whole retirement thing in sports, I have no problem with somebody playing until they tell you can't. I have no problem with that. It's kind of like with Drew Brees back in the day when he was with the Saints, and the last couple of years, people were whispers, he should retire. And I'm like, there's certain players like, Drew Brees and the Peyton Mannings and Tom Brady's and all that, Aaron Rodgers. Like those guys, especially if they've been with the same franchise all their career, like a Drew, that, for most part of his career, that guy earned the right to play quarterback for the New Orleans Saints as long as he wanted to. And so when it comes to Tiger Woods, especially in an individual sport, not even a team sport, first off, we see it all the time with people, that especially those that have tons of money and they don't have to work and they have nothing to worry about in life. What are you going to do? Okay. What are you going to do with yourself? When the alarm goes off or doesn't go off in the morning, to the time you decide you're so tired, you got to go to sleep, you got to do some things. You got to have something with some juice. You got to have something. And if Tiger Woods decides that he likes fighting through the issues he's got, or the pain or the discomfort, I mean, he can go to the beach and he can do all the things you do when you're a billionaire, but he already does those things. And so I think, it's kind of like a retirement. Well, you got to retire at 65. Why? If you love doing what you're doing, you're running your company, you're doing it, well, keep going, because what are you going to do? Just sit around and just count the days till you die? I mean, so I like the fact that Tiger's like, shut up, Colin. I got this. Don't worry about me. Worry about you. And the one thing I've learned is never to ever try to figure Tiger Woods out, never to count him out, never to say he can't. He has proven me wrong too many times to where I just shut up now.
Well, and I'll put the icing on the cake on your argument, like what else you do, and let guys do what they want to do. Rolling Stones are still on tour. I mean, 60 years later, they're still out there, and they're filling arenas. Okay, they're not playing at the event center at the Le Berge in front of 1,400.
Although amazing venue, the Le Berge event center.
Oh no, I've been to dozens of concerts there, and I'm going to go to dozens more. But Rolling Stones are filling, major venues, and hey, I'm like you, man. It's an individual sport. Same thing with the tennis players. Wimbledon just ended. If you want to keep playing, go out there and play. There was a golfer, famous golfer from the 60s and 70s, he's pretty good, George Archer. And he said when he quit golfing, he said, most people retire to go play golf and go fishing. He goes, I've been playing golf and fishing all my life. What the hell do I do when I retire? And that's another analogy that, hey, especially an individual sport, let him go do it. And I know we all hated seeing Emmett Smith in a Cardinals jersey and Joe Namath in a Rams jersey. I mean, we go through the list, but or that for that matter, Michael Jordan in the Washington Wizards jersey, whatever. So that's just part of it, man. Let Tiger do what he wants. Colin Montgomery, you worry about Colin Montgomery, okay? But Tiger just nailed him, and I've never been a fan of Colin Montgomery. And I'm like you, who can figure Tiger out? And I'll say he can't win this week, but if he did, you can't say, that would have never. You wouldn't bet your life that he wouldn't win.
Correct. All right, TK, tell us about Tremonti's before we get out of here.
Well, today is Wednesday. Every Wednesday, burger and fries for $6.99. You can eat it here. You get it to go. You get a Tremonti's burger on Saturday night, the cheeseburger special at Rougarou Games. They got everything you need here. Stop by Tremonti's on Jefferson Highway. You'll be amazed at all the things that are in here. And today's that burger special. Tomorrow it's a brisket and sausage plate. That's the lunch special. They redid all their lunch specials about a month ago, Tuesday through Saturday. So check out Tremonti's on Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge.
Speaking of Rougarou, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 games this week. All of them crucial playoff type implication games. Rougarou lost another late game last night, 2-1 lead going into the 7th inning, and gave up 2 runs, lost 3-2. Had to tie and run on second base in the 9th inning, so another heartbreaker for the Rougarou. They're back in action tonight. You can watch it on TexasCollegiateLeague.com. It's 7 o'clock at Brazos Valley. But we'll see you at the ballpark Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Until then, have a great one, everybody.